SNAP was constantly in news headlines last month. SNAP is the federal anti-hunger program previously known as food stamps. What happened was the Trump administration decided not to send people their monthly checks because the federal government was shut down. Well, payments are back to normal now, but that episode gave us a little window into how many people are one check away from hunger, from not being able to feed their family and themselves. And it was like a preview of what might happen in the coming months. Cuts to SNAP are coming as a part of President Trump's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. How they could affect North Country families on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Long Run Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor in Lake Placid, providing comprehensive wealth management, retirement, and financial planning solutions. LongRunWealth.com. And the Devlin Inn and Suites, Lake Placid, welcoming families, athletes, and groups to the Olympic Village, offering Adirondack mountain views and dog-friendly accommodations. TheDevlinNY.com.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Wednesday, December 3rd. First up, Governor Kathy Hochul says she'll work with New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani on expanding access to childcare. Jimmy Vielkind reports for the New York Public News Network.
Hochul says she speaks frequently with Mamdani, and their first steps of governing together will include childcare. The Democratic governor said on Good Day New York that she'll announce more details of a program to expand access to childcare early next year.
So we've worked on this over the last couple of years to really position ourselves to take more steps together. And I know that's a priority of the mayor-elects, and we can work on that together.
Hochul hasn't said how she would pay for the new program. She warns that some kind of tax hikes are still on the table. Mamdani is pushing to raise corporate taxes. He eventually wants free, universal childcare. In Albany, I'm Jimmy Vielkind for the New York Public News Network.
President Trump's massive policy law will reduce SNAP funding by approximately $186 billion over the next decade. One of the biggest reductions will come by expanding SNAP work requirements. Amy Feiereisel breaks down what that will look like in northern New York, where about 12% of the population relies on the food assistance program.
SNAP work requirements aren't exactly new, but they'll feel that way to many New Yorkers. They were suspended during the COVID-19 pandemic, and before then, they were waived in most of New York due to higher unemployment rates. But now they're coming back. Last month, Essex County sent letters to SNAP recipients who will soon have to fulfill work requirements and has been setting up individual appointments.
To kind of just review what would be required of them in order to keep their SNAP.
Renee Bruno is the county's Deputy Commissioner of Social Services.
Explain the work rules and all of that.
To keep their SNAP benefits, the national average is about $65 a week per person. People considered able-bodied and of working age will have to start showing proof of 80 hours of either work, community service, or schooling each month. And under the new rules, more people will have to do that than before. People who used to be exempt include veterans, the homeless, young people aging out of foster care, and older adults between the ages of 55 and 64. In Essex County, that all adds up to about 140 people, or roughly 5% of the people receiving SNAP. Bruno says the office is expecting most of those people won't be willing or able to fulfill the 80-hour per month requirement.
That's a lot of time to put in to keep the SNAP when sometimes they may not even be receiving enough SNAP to make that worth their effort either.
That's kind of the point of these changes. The work requirement will likely result in people not qualifying for SNAP anymore, and therefore the federal government saving money. Republicans who passed these measures say they will rid the system of, quote, waste, fraud, and abuse. Here's Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt.
I think there's a lot of fraud in the system. Those are savings that we can plug into the budget.
The Congressional Research Service says SNAP fraud is rare, but it does happen. Democrats argue that the savings from SNAP cuts will just leave more people hungry.
It's not just a number. SNAP is food. SNAP is dignity. SNAP is survival.
New York Senator Chuck Schumer recently introduced legislation to reverse the SNAP changes, but it's unlikely to go anywhere with the Republican-controlled Senate and House. In Essex County, the Social Services Department isn't weighing in on that larger political debate. But Angie Allen, the Social Services Commissioner, says the work requirements will be a big roadblock for some SNAP recipients.
I don't think it's unreasonable in terms of the work that is available in Essex County, but I do think the geography and the demographics in Essex County kind of create an obstacle in themselves.
Childcare is scarce here. The unemployment rate is currently quite low, and there is very limited public transportation. For people who can't find work, one way to fulfill their requirement is to go to the county's career center to prove they are actively searching for a job. In Essex County, that's one work source located in Elizabethtown, the county seat.
So if you have someone from, let's say, Screw Lake, they need to catch the bus and then wait, hours to take the bus back. People might just say the amount I receive is not worth a full day of me being on a bus and sitting in Elizabethtown every week.
Verifying the work requirements will also take additional staff time, and that's not something the county will receive extra funding for. Actually, it's the opposite. Another change in the bill is that states are getting less money to run this program. The state used to split that cost 50-50 with the federal government.
That has changed to 25% federal to 75% state. Essex County, that means that we have $200,000 less revenue that we will be expecting.
It's also still a mystery when these work requirements will actually kick in. In New York, a current waiver expires in March of 2026. But the state was told this fall that waiver was being canceled early and enforcement would begin on November 1st. The government shutdown delayed that by a month. Now a court appeal has shifted the date back to March. Allen says that doesn't exactly make it easy to plan.
Not political at all. It's just that's the environment that we're in, that things are changing quickly. The state's at the whim of the federal government, and there's just no confidence that what is stated will not change within a 24-hour window.
Work requirements will kick in at the latest starting March 1st, with people who don't fulfill them being removed from the SNAP rolls in June. Amy Feiereisel, North Country Public Radio.
A fun holiday bonus story for you. The Crystal Restaurant on Public Square in Watertown is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. And it's during the holiday season that the restaurant breaks out its iconic drink, the Tom and Jerry. Way back in 2010, I stopped by the Crystal for a taste.
Hi, my name is Libby Wheeler. I work at the Crystal Restaurant in Watertown, New York. I'm making Tom and Jerry's. First, you warm up the mugs. Put the hot water in the mugs to warm them up. Pour out the water. And then you get a nice big scoop of the secret batter. It's a secret family recipe. It's like an eggnog. They are warm drinks, though. And this is a mixture of rum and brandy. And then we pour in a little more hot water. Shake a little cinnamon and nutmeg on the top. And there you have it. Tom and Jerry. We serve them just through the holiday season, from Thanksgiving to New Year's. People come in to drink them from all over.
I love them. Every year we come here. It tastes real good. Hi, my name is Sonny Rambo, Great Bend, New York. Little booze in there. Get your day going.
Okay, so I'm going to try a Tom and Jerry for the first time. Whoa. It's really thick. It's almost like marshmallowy. It's like eggnog, but really, really thick eggnog, obviously with a shot of rum and brandy as well.
It's important because this has a very, very long history of serving this community. You can tell by the tin ceilings, if you will. Those were in my mother's house in the living room. I'm John Doldo. I'm a lifetime resident of Watertown. I'm a businessman in the real estate management business. People come here with a little nostalgia, the old days when the public square was a hustling, bustling hub that was known throughout the North Country. We enjoy coming here to meet old friends. They're good people. They serve good food, clean food. And the Tom and Jerry's are a tradition of long, long standing, and there's nowhere else you can get them that are as good as the Crystal Restaurant downtown Watertown.
That's John Doldo and other patrons at the Crystal Restaurant in Watertown enjoying the traditional holiday drink, the Tom and Jerry. We also heard from Libby DeFerris, who was then Libby Wheeler. She is now a co-owner of the Crystal. Music today by Caitlin Scholl of Lake Placid and Patricia Julian of Burlington. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.